the Growing Towards God podcast. Here on Growing Towards God, we talk about ways to grow spiritually and hear how God has been working in people's lives. My name is Virginia, and I'm so excited that you're here today. Thank you for listening, so now let's get to the good stuff. Hello, and welcome back to the Growing Towards God podcast. It's been a minute since I've posted an episode. Being a college student is difficult, but we're back at it this week with another episode and another part of the Seeing God Abroad series. And I'm so excited for today's episode. Sorry, Emily's making me laugh. I have some very special guests. Dang it, I'm not editing it out. Very special guest. Are we gonna be able to make it through this episode? Okay, so here. This is too funny. Exactly your feeling. I've done that. I've been there.
What's funny? I don't even know. Okay.
Right. Okay. I'm so excited for today's episode. I have some very special guests here to talk about their study abroad experience. So here's Emily and Corrin. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hey, so happy to be here and so excited.
Yes, we're so excited to see you and to talk about study abroad because we all know that that's all we want to do when we get back.
Yeah.
Yes. So to introduce Emily and Corrin a little bit, I met them in Ireland and we all studied abroad together. And yeah, that was a really fun time. And so I'm so glad that they're here to talk about their experience and, you know, how we all kind of grew and changed together. So yeah, as always on this podcast, we do 2 truths and a lie to introduce everyone. So we're gonna have Corrin go first.
Okay. This was kind of hard for me, but I'm just gonna say what I got. I've been skydiving. I'm an identical twin, and I've been on an Alaskan cruise.
Okay, so guessing the lie.
Yeah.
You've never been skydiving. It's on your list, right? Of things to do.
No, it's number 2. I'm not an identical twin, but I'm a fraternal twin.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I know a lot of people don't know
Because they are identical.
Oh my gosh.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Humbling. Okay.
It's okay. The more you know.
No, that was a tricky one.
Yeah.
Emily?
Okay. I went to 5 concerts this year. I have 3 sisters, and I swam in the Irish Sea.
Don't you have 4 sisters?
You have 2 sisters.
I have 2 sisters and 1 brother.
You got it.
Yeah, there's 4 of us.
I'm 0 for 2. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
So you have 5 concerts?
Yeah. Noah Kahn / Dermot Kennedy, Macklemore, Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, and Pink.
Wow. That's a lineup right there.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They're all so fun.
Yeah, I bet your Spotify Wrapped was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now talking about the fun part, why we're here, and jumping into our broad questions. So I guess question 1 is like, what inspired you guys to go abroad?
Yeah, you can.
Well, so I'm not exactly sure. I just kind of have always wanted to do it ever since I learned what it was. I was like, you can just go for a semester and during college and it's no big deal. So I guess I always wanted to go, but I didn't know if I could. I thought it would be hard to leave my family. But then I heard of someone who went with their friend, and so I was like, I'll just recruit a friend and then we'll go together and it'll be totally fine. So I recruited Corrin, and yeah, it was something that I just knew that I really wanted to do and had to do. Otherwise, I would just think about it all the time and regret it. So
Yeah, and I would kind of say the same thing. Like when I found out about it when I was younger, I was like, "Oh, that would be so cool." And then like I saw cousins do it, and like we traveled a lot as like in my family as kids, so that was really cool. Um, and then I would say like even like Emily inspired me because she was the one who like set up the meeting and was like, "Okay, we're doing this," and I was like totally like down for it, but I was like, "Oh my gosh, like we're doing this!" So I think she also had a big part of it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I remember just being like, I didn't know when I wanted to go and like figuring out the timing and all of that was kind of like different. I feel like most people
Mhm.
go like junior year, but we went sophomore year.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
go us for being early.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I guess next question I have is what were your fears going into being abroad and like just time away from home and like family?
Yeah, I think we probably have similar fears, like we talked about it and stuff, but I think well, I as I mentioned before, I'm a twin, so we've been apart in college years, but we've never been across like the ocean apart. So I was kind of nervous about that and just like being away from family. I did go to a college out of state, but um yeah, it was definitely going to be a different experience. So kind of like worried how I was going to adjust to that, but also like fear of like it wasn't going to be everything that I hoped it was going to be or what everyone's going to say. Um, just everyone like hyped it up, and I was like, oh, like what if it's not as cool? Just looking back at it, that's funny that I thought about that, but um, yeah,
Yeah, I'd say a lot of the same things. My school is only an hour from my hometown, so I haven't really been away from family in the same capacity as going abroad. So I was really worried about that. Like, and I was mostly worried that like I wouldn't be able to handle it. Like, I would get too sad or homesick or whatever and stuff like that. But a lot of it is just like the fear of like the unknown too. It's like going abroad, like you really like they kind of prepare you, but at the same time, like you have no idea what to expect. And that was really scary to me. But yeah, I think that was like the biggest fear that I had.
Yeah, because I feel like I didn't really have that many like expectations kind of
Mhm.
going into it. I was kind of like, okay, like I'm just doing this and like we're gonna see how it goes. And I feel like I kind of became more of an adventurous person like because of that. But yeah, it was definitely a little bit nerve-wracking being like, I don't know anyone and like I mean Emily and Corinne seem nice. I emailed them, but like I didn't
Yeah.
really know anyone. And so I think yeah, definitely like the friends and like it was scary to like leave and not know what was coming for
yeah.
sure.
And just like the everything, like you're packing up your whole life, like like we're like, what do we pack? Like, what is it gonna look like living over there? Like it's just like
Yeah.
it's like you're really stepping into like nothing you've known before. So
Yeah.
it's
Can
gonna
I
scare
tell
you.
my funny story?
Oh yeah, please do.
Okay, I forgot about it until just now. So on the day that we left, I like packed everything last minute. So, like I packed the day before and then the morning of, and we left my house at like 2 o'clock. And I had such a stomach ache all day because I was so nervous. And so I had a 2 hour drive to the airport. And I hadn't eaten anything all day. So like, Mom, we should stop at Panera so I can get some food. So we go in to pick up the pickup order. And I went to the bathroom and threw up because I
Oh
was
my.
I felt so sick because I was so nervous. But it was so funny because like after that moment, like I felt so much better and I was like, all right, it's time to go. Like, let's do this thing. And then once I like got to the airport and everything, like everything felt so much easier.
Yeah.
So that's just like those were that was like my fear. Like the fear was intense, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
we can laugh about it now, which is why it's
So
a funny
funny.
story.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, wow.
Yeah. Glad you're not unwell anymore.
Yeah. Haven't thrown up since.
Good, good. Yeah, and like, yeah. Did you guys feel like your fears were answered by God?
Oh yeah, I would say so, definitely. Um, like how we were like I was scared of like leaving my family, leaving just like being away from home, right? But like God gave us like or gave me, I want to say all of us, he gave us like a new family in study abroad. Just so cool. And just like honestly, like it was just like way better than I expected to, like study abroad. It was just like the most amazing thing. So definitely God answered those fears with like giving the people and just like giving us the opportunities and experiences that we had in Ireland.
Yeah, I would also add on to that. Like, my fear was of the unknown and like not knowing things and not having a plan. But I feel like through study abroad, I learned a lot of skills related to that. Like, you're not going to know everything, but you're going to be able to figure it out. So that was like how God kind of answered that. He's like, well, yeah, you don't know everything. Like, obviously, only I do. But don't worry because I'll help you through it and you're going to be just fine.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, I feel like that put into words like what a lot of people feel about like having control over their life too. Like not even just with studying abroad, but like you learned a really important like life skill, and that's so good. Like I definitely learned that too. You know,
Yeah.
like things are gonna go wrong. Like everyone has their like it went wrong, and like we still
Oh, yeah.
survived. You know, like we made it out. But yeah, I feel like that's definitely like a big takeaway from being abroad for sure. I guess with that, like God answering, like, did your relationship change with him through studying abroad?
I would say 100%. I think like kind of learning that skill that I was just talking about helped me to lean into him a lot more and like realize that I try to be independent a lot and I need to rely on him a lot more than I do. So that was like a crazy realization for me that like, oh, like I need to trust in God more. Because I thought I already did, but um yeah. And then I feel like we just had such a good community there, like becoming friends with you and then going to church together and all those types of things. Like it was really cool meeting so many different kinds of people that shared the same faith as us. It was really like inspiring in that way.
Yeah, like seeing like the global family or like the global church, you know, because like it's just crazy to think about, you know, like how big the church it really is,
Yeah.
and like what a cool experience that we got to like be a part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was so cool to be. So we go to a private university, a Lutheran university. So like, and I had never gone to a public school, like, and so I was in a public school in Ireland. So like, it was like my first, like experience being on a public university, and like I had to like find like my Christian friends and find my Christian community, and God was so faithful in giving us like CU and like my new community church too. So it was he was so good for that. And I think like besides like the community, I really took advantage of like the time to just like spend with God there because we didn't have a lot of responsibilities because we're just going to school and basically traveling, and so that was really cool. And so I really I feel like my relationship really grew with God because I had that time to like spend with him, and especially like in community, but kind of like by myself too. So it was a really cool like growth by like just as an individual in my faith.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like there's something about just like being away from everyone and like the aspect of like, yeah, I know like my life, you know, and like this is just like usual. Getting out of that routine was super like disruptive, but it also like brought me closer to God, just like to rely on him and like, yeah, Emily, like you said, with like you thought you trusted him, but you realized that like you didn't, like being able to like put your faith into action and like be like exercise more trust, you know. I feel like that has really affected me like a lot since coming back.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I would also add like going abroad makes your perspective shift so much. Like the world is so big and you realize like how insignificant like a lot of these things that we think are so important are, like the way we dress or like I don't even know, like when you go abroad, like you're kind of like I don't know, like we went on a trip and we only had like 2 pairs of pants. Like you just make do with what you have. So I think to that respect also like realizing that earthly life is so insignificant compared to what is to come. and realizing like the importance of that in our daily life.
Yeah.
I also kind of want to add on to that, like us even like being abroad, like, and that's super cool going to all the different countries, like that didn't change our status with God, our identity with God too. And I think that really like hit me, like while I was studying abroad, like God is the same, even though like our surroundings change and our circumstances change. Like it's always like God is still God, and He like looks at us the way we've always been. So
Yeah.
that was like also a really big perspective change on my relationship with God too. Like, oh, like He just loves me the way I'm in. Like I don't have to do all this cool stuff to like gain His favor or whatever. Like he's just good. He's
Yeah,
gonna
and I
be
feel like that was so huge for me, like coming back and like this semester too. Like I feel like all of my relationships changed, like with friends and stuff, like from being gone, like things happened that I wasn't a part of, and like that's just something that I had to like accept and like be okay with. But like even though every other relationship in my life changed, like my relationship with God only got better. And like that was just such like a blessing, and I think I really needed that at like this time in my life,
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, okay. Well, so I think we're gonna wrap up for part 1. Thank you guys for being part of today's episode. I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, of course. It was so cool. It's so cool to reflect on these things.
Yeah.
I need to do it more often. There's a lot of good things.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us on. It's so fun.
You're welcome. Okay, well, bye everyone. Thanks for listening. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I hope you took something meaningful away from this discussion and know that God loves you so much and desires a personal relationship with you. If you'd like to stay up to date with episodes, follow me on Instagram at Growing Towards God Pod and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. Before I go, I'd like you to take this benediction into your life and let the Lord's goodness empower you today. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord turn His face toward you and give you peace. Have a great rest of your day, and catch you next time on the Growing Towards God podcast.